How's it going, PokeMoshPit? My name's Tommy, and today I'm bringing you a match against HydreigonMaster635. Now, looking at his team, the main things I gotta watch out for are the Sork, Chinchino, and Electros. Everything else should be reasonably easy-ish to deal with. Superior can be annoying if it has the Subseed thing going on. Corsola, a bit of a good wall, especially now that it does get Regenerator. Dustox, not too worried, although if it is a Quiver Dancer, that's something to worry about. So I decided to lead off with my Shrew Manchu here just to get up rocks, or maybe I thought he'd lead with Sork. Pick your explanation, I can't remember mine. But I decide I don't want to take a Grass type move or a Hidden Power Ice, whatever. So I go to Dustox, who can take pretty much any special hit, barring a Fire Blast from Magmortar or something powerful, you know what I mean. Point is, Electros does have the Flamethrower, but I am not too worried about it because I'm max special defense and it's not stab obviously, so I can probably take one or two maybe, so not too worried. But he's going to Volt Switch out, go into his Chinchino, and I of course get the Toxic on the Electros. That's going to be useful later on for wearing it down. Now, when Chinchino comes in, I am a little bit worried about what it's going to be doing, so I go into End tier to hopefully take a Tail Slap. Now I'm going to pull a switch into Monferno just to see if he is choiced in some way, because if he was, he would have probably switched out there, but now I see that he does have the Bullet Seed, and he's going for it. He's obviously not choiced in any way, so probably Expert Belt or maybe Silk Scarf, because I don't see the Life Orb, so not exactly sure, but gonna go for a Vacuum Wave just for some good solid damage. That's an unboosted Vacuum Wave. I mean, this is a nasty plot Monferno with max special attack, but a base 40 power Vacuum Wave still does quite a lot, so yeah, that's not too bad. Now he does get a crit there, but that kind of makes up for the miss on Sudowoodo. Now I figure I will go into the big guy here, who is definitely gonna be able to take this guy out. I thought it was a bit obvious me bringing it in here that I would be Scarf, but then again, when is a Scarf Walrein ever obvious, so hey, who knows. Now he brings in Sork, and I definitely do not want to stay in against that, so I'm going to switch out. Go into good old Sandshrew here to take any physical hit, but he makes a nice double switch here, goes into his Electros. Now, the one thing about Electros is it has great coverage, like it has Flamethrower, Giga Drain, T-Bolt, all this good stuff, and me switching here was really obvious. I knew that, but I kind of thought I'd rather take a Flamethrower on Dustox than a Volt Switch on Walrein, if you know what I mean. Like, it could have been either really, but he made the good play, went for a Flamethrower. But luckily for me, he does go for a Volt Switch next turn. That means I can live it reasonably comfortably as he brings in his Superior. Now, I definitely don't want him going for Subs or Leech Seed or whatever, so I'm going to Whirlwind him out, bring him into the Corsola. That is great for me because it means I get off a free roost regardless. If Corsola was able to kill Dustox in any single hit, I would be amazed. Maybe a Hustle boosted Stone Edge, don't know. In any case, I go for a Roost and he goes for a Scold. I assume he was going for a Burn, but Dustox does get the Shield Dust ability, meaning that I can't get burnt from, you know, you can't get added effects from moves like T-Bolt or Scold or whatever. It's a pretty good ability. Now, I bring in Ent here, which might seem like a really stupid play, but I actually thought he would switch out into something else. Not exactly sure what, but I definitely predicted a switch, or possibly a different move. Maybe, I don't know what Corsola even gets. Maybe T-Wave or something? Don't know, I definitely did not predict the Scold though. But I go for a Wood Hammer, and speaking of predictions, he makes a pretty good prediction here. A lot of people don't know that Sudowoodo does get Wood Hammer, although logically that does kind of make sense, it's a tree. Nevertheless, it's a pretty good move. However, Dustox takes nothing from it, but I do outspeed, take it out with a Stone Edge, and that is absolutely great for me. Now, I decided to switch out here. I definitely do not want to lose Sudowoodo just yet, so I go into Shrew Manchu, who can take probably any 2 hits from a Sork, if it's Choice Scarfed. Now, I really wish I went for a knockoff here, but I was kind of predicting the switch into either Corsola or Superior, so I thought Rapid Spin would be more worthwhile. But now he switches out, goes into his Superior once again, and I just go for a knockoff. I mean, it is good to get rid of the leftovers, but getting rid of that Choice Scarf on the Sork would have saved me a lot of trouble later on, as you'll see. Now he goes for a sub as I bring in my Dustox, and I thought this would be Hidden Power Fire, but it turned out to be Ice, I think. Well, that's a guess. It might be Dragon for all I know, but yeah, I assume it was Ice because it wasn't super effective. Normally they tend to carry either Fire or Rock, so who knows. Brings in Electros and it dies to a Bug Buzz, which is absolutely great for me. Now he brings in Sork and goes for an Earthquake. Gets a crit on me, which I don't think mattered. If I was max defense, it might have mattered, but it's a specially defensive Dustox, so probably not. So I'll bring in the big guy here. Choice Scarf Walrein, gonna do some damage. I will go for a Signal Beam. How does a Walrus learn Signal Beam? Don't ask me, I have no idea. But it does. I have Signal Beam, Ice Beam, Surf, and my last move is Hidden Power Rock, I want to say. So I figured go for Signal Beam in case he brings in the Superior. Now I go into Zangoose here. Now Zangoose is going to be the star of the show, right? Sub-Disable Zangoose is not something which I've ever tried before, but I thought I'd give it a go. So, you know, most Zangoose you'll probably see with Toxic Boost because it's a damn good ability. However, I thought for this set I'd have Leftover, Sub, and Immunity, which actually turns out to be helpful in this situation. So he goes for Scold, breaks my Sub, and because I know he's going to probably want to Scold again, not wanting me to have a Sub up, I can disable the Scold, then go for a Sub on the next turn, and assuming he doesn't have any other attack like Power Gem or whatever Corsola likes to carry, he can't really touch me, to be honest, so I'm going to go for a Sub, regardless of what he does, as he brings in his Superior, which was probably the right play. Now, unfortunately, I don't carry Ice Punch or whatever else, X-Scissor maybe. I did consider X-Scissor, but I decided on Night Slash in the end, so I got Close Combat, Night Slash, Sub, and Disable. Night Slash will probably be changed for Shadow Claw because I feel like that would be more useful, but doesn't have any impact in this game, so go for a Close Combat, and that nearly takes him out, but unfortunately he just about lives. Now, Superior does actually have reasonable attack stats, although I doubt it would kill a Zangoose from full if it's unboosted. But because I got the -1 and because he is in Overgrow range, that's definitely going to kill. So I figure, okay, switch out to Ent here just to sacrifice it. So he has minimum health gain pretty much. Now I can go back into the big guy here. And the big guy is just going to go for an Ice Beam on the off chance he wants to go into his Sork. Takes it out, that's great, another big threat out of the way. Now Sork comes back in, and this is where the game gets pretty difficult for me, right? I have Walrein, I have Zangoose, and I believe one other, Sandshrew probably. But in any case, if I'm not careful, Sork will go through my entire team. This is how every NU battle will end up if you're not careful. If you come across a Sork, Sork is the guy who will almost definitely finish off your NU match, right? Anyone who's played NU, you'll know that. But he brings in Corsola here, and I go for a knockoff. I wish he stayed in there. I was thinking he might think that he could kill me with a close combat. He might be able to, for all I know. I haven't tested it. But now I go to Zangoose. Not necessarily predicting Scold, but just hoping he'd stay in. And now I'm kind of thinking, okay, the disable is far too obvious, so I'm going to go for a Sub on this turn as he's going to bring back in the Sork. That works out perfectly for me because I have the Sub up. If he goes for close combat, he will have the defense drop, and regardless of what he does, I can disable the move he locks himself into and then go from there. So I decide, okay, a -1 defense, close combat, might not actually take him out, so I thought, okay, I'll play it safe. I'll go for the disable, so either he switches out into his Corsola, or he struggles, basically. And I figured a struggle wouldn't kill me from that kind of range. Now, because he's got the -1 and the damage he gets from the struggle, I figure a close combat should be able to take him out. I just about lived the struggle. I assume he predicted my substitute because that would have been... Yeah, I guess that would have worked because I would have predicted the Corsola switch, but... Now, I figured I could live a struggle, so stayed in. Take him out, and that is absolutely great. Now, the one remaining problem is that Corsola is a bulky-ass Pokemon. Very bulky. Not the best at typing, but it can take hits, let me tell you. So I figure I gotta sack Shrew Manchu here. You've done your part, buddy. You are gonna lay your life down for the cause. I have to go in the Sandshrew here so that I can disable his Scold, because one close combat will not kill this guy, as you'll see in a sec. Now bring back in Zangoose, and we're going to go for Disable. Now this is pretty, I don't want to say risky because this was pretty much my only plan, but the point is, if he had any other attack, I would have lost right there and then. Zangoose couldn't take a single hit from even a defensive Corsola, so I pretty much had to rely on him only having Scald as his attack. Luckily for me, as you'll see, he goes for Stealth Rock, which I assume means he doesn't have Power Gem. I mean, he has, what, Toxic, Stealth Rock, Scald, maybe Recover as the last move, or Rest. Not exactly sure, but take him out with a second close combat, and that is going to be the game, my friends. So, Sub-Disable Zangoose, definitely a big threat not to be messed with. I don't think it will overtake Haunter in terms of usefulness, because Haunter is slightly faster and better immunities, but yeah, it's a decent Pokemon. I mean, definitely give it a try if you haven't already. So, hope you all enjoyed, and if you want to see more of this, check out my channel in the video description. And with that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.